Let's talk about laying out your kitchen for a lifetime of happiness. And this week I have spent hours and hours with clients on the same 3 mistakes and the little mistakes within them. So let's get to it. There's 3 big mistakes I'm seeing in kitchen design, and they have to do with where your stuff goes, how it works, and how it flows. So we're going to address all 3 of those and the little stuff that comes with that. The 3 common mistakes that I keep seeing have to do with the big 3, with the cabinets you choose, and for how it works. The first of which, the 3 big appliances and the location of them, the layout. That's your stove, your sink, and the fridge, the kitchen triangle. And you've got to lay them out properly. If you're doing a remodel, sometimes the window is going to tell you where the sink's going to go, or the plumbing is going to tell you, or the gas line. We get carried away with how it looks, but we need to be carried away with how it functions, because of all the rooms in the house, if this one doesn't work right, it's going to make you mental. First, need to make sure that it works. And that's the most important thing. If you've got an architect who's designed your kitchen, I got a story for you. You may have heard of falling water. Frank Lloyd Wright changed architecture, cantilevered concrete.
The beam is called cantilevered.
Magnificent, changed the way we build things. Mrs. Kaufman, the owner of that house, called Frank a few months after she moved in and said, "Hey Frank, all this concrete's lovely, but it's leaking on my dining room table." And he said, "Move the table." That should give you an idea of an architect's feelings about a kitchen. And I don't find them much different these days. So you have to be an advocate for how you cook and how you want to live, because they're not going to be. The first thing we want to think about is where the big 3 are going, the kitchen triangle. And why do we care about the triangle? I mean, it was developed in the 20s and 30s for efficient, small kitchens. And that's not generally the way most of us are living these days. The kitchens I'm seeing on plans are 3 and 4 times the original design for the kitchen triangle. So how can we make this antiquated formula work? Well, first of all, it's not antiquated. It works. The idea is that if you arrange these 3 in an efficient way, you can minimize the amount of steps that it takes to do common kitchen tasks. So it makes your life in the kitchen easier, faster to work, more efficient. So we want to pay attention to it. And even though our kitchens aren't nearly the 3 to 5 steps recommended from each point of the triangle, we still want to abide by the triangle rules. The way I like to think about it in larger kitchens, though, is to think about it as kitchen zones. So a prep zone where I want the fridge, the sink, and the pantry to be close together. A cooking zone where I may want the stove and the sink, and a landing zone. Or the cleanup zone where I may want the sink and the dishwasher, and the cabinets where I'm going to put my glassware and dishes and all of that away. In order to make the most of the efficiency of the kitchen triangle, when we think about it in zones with the prep, cooking, and cleanup, and we make all of those triangles attached to each other, then it works better. When you design with these zones in mind, you can plan for your kitchen to work better. So if you're cooking, people don't get in your way trying to prep stuff, or people don't get in your way trying to clean up. Everybody's got their own area, so lots of cooks can work in one kitchen without bumping into each other. Or if you're a solo cook, you can have the work zone and the entertainment zone separated so that it works better. When you're thinking about these zones and whether or not they work efficiently, think about a really bad holiday party you've been to, where everyone was bottlenecked up at one end of the island and they couldn't pass through, or the cook couldn't open the oven to take out the hors d'oeuvres. What wasn't working? You got to think about who's crossing over and getting in the way. Is the prep people in the way of the cooking people? When you keep everybody separate, the kitchen works better. When you are laying out these 3 major appliances in your kitchen, there is no right or wrong way. Your house may dictate where things are going to go. So if you've got a big window looking out at the beautiful view, that might be where I put my sink and start there. When you're remodeling, the house may dictate where things need to go. So if you don't want to move gas lines or plumbing lines or where a window is existing, that will kind of help you to place those appliances. However, this is an art and a science. So there's no right way to do it. It's what works for you. However, in my years as a designer and a cook and a mom, the first one you want to consider is that the fridge and the sink are better friends than the fridge and the stove. And what I mean by that is when you cook, when you're working in the kitchen, you generally are going from the fridge to the sink to the stove. That's sort of the route. When you're cooking and cleaning up, you're going from the stove to the sink to the dishwasher. You follow the routine. The triangle works better when the sink and the refrigerator are closer together. In my current kitchen, the stove is right in the middle of that triangle, and I have to walk past the stove every time I take something out of the fridge to go to the sink. I don't have a landing zone. I don't have a 3 to 5 step yet to put things down and to make the triangle work. So think about that when you're laying out your kitchen. Are you a lefty or a righty? And where's your dishwasher going? So if I'm standing at the sink, is my dishwasher here? Then I want to put away there. Is my dishwasher on the right? Then I probably want to put away on the left. You want to consider standing at the sink, rinsing, and putting in the dishwasher. And then emptying the dishwasher and being able to put glassware away. A lot of the plans that I'm seeing, the trend has been to have these big, beautiful windows and not a lot of uppers. And that's fantastic. But I was in a consultation with a client the other day, and we were talking about when I'm standing at this big 5-foot window, staring out at the beautiful backyard, how do I empty the dishwasher and put my glassware away without walking 5 minutes to the other side of the room? Those big, beautiful windows are lovely, but you got to consider if your sink is going there, probably your dishwasher is too. So where's your glassware going to go? Drawers are great for dishes, for plates, for silverware, for bowls, for all of that stuff. But glassware and stemware still has to go in an upper. So you got to think about where you're going to put that stuff. You want the fridge to be close to the pantry as well, because those are prep areas. So keep them closer together. Run from the fridge, go get something out of the pantry. You head over to the sink to wash it all off, mix it all up. Then you head to the next zone. You get the idea. Another problem I see with the layout of these big three is the song of fire and ice. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the fridge and the stove next to each other. When the stove and the fridge are next to each other and you turn on the stove, the fridge is going to have to work harder. It's going to shorten its life. It's not a good idea. Now, typically, when we see these old stove next to the fridge, most people know enough that we don't want to do that. We want to give ourselves a little bit of landing space on either side of the stove. But I'm still seeing the fridge next to the wall ovens. Do not put your fridge next to your stove. Don't put it next to your wall ovens. When you do this, the fridge, in order to keep your food cold, has to work harder. You shorten its life because every time the stove gets hotter, that compressor's got to work more. It's also bad feng shui. Now, once you've got your zones all laid out, we've got all this stuff in all of these zones. Where's it going to go? How are we going to store it? And the problem that I'm seeing with this is choosing for the way things look and not for the way they function. In particular, I'm talking about trying to make things match, symmetry. I had a client and she was insistent that the 4-drawer bank beside her stove, so 4 drawers in a bank, be matched on the other side with 4 drawers. But when she looked at her inventory and where she wanted to keep stuff, she wanted to keep her big pots and pans on this side, all her spices and spatulas and all that kind of stuff on that side. It's not going to work. The drawers are not the right sizes for the things they need to hold. Now I know we get caught up in symmetry and we want it to look balanced and blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. First of all, most of you are going to put an island in front of those cabinets, so no one's going to see them anyway. Second of all, nobody cares but you. They're all the same color. It's good. They work perfect. Nobody cares but you that one side has 4 drawers and the other has 2. The symmetry is only going to make you nuts, but the function and the lack thereof. So what we agreed upon was 4 drawers on one side and 2 drawers on the other for her big pots and pans. Don't agonize about this. Once that island goes in, no one's going to know what the heck's going on, and no one pays attention to how many drawers and doors unless they're building themselves and they're picking your brain. They're just going to see that it looks pretty. So don't agonize over symmetry. So how do I pick cabinetry? I pick it by my stuff, what I shop for, what I buy, what I own, how I like to store it, what I want it near. The way I like to think about it is, what do you have? Do a kitchen inventory. All your pots and pans, all your spatulas, all your silverware, all your bowls, all your platters. Go through it. Take an inventory. That way you shop smarter and you get cabinets for the things that you own or the things that you want to own in your new kitchen. But you don't buy things for stuff you don't need. Lay it out. Measure it. How many pots and pans do you have? How many drawers do you need to fit them in? Where do you want to store them? Go through your stuff. I have a kitchen inventory. I'll link in the description. You can download it for free. You go through every drawer in your kitchen and figure out what kind of stuff you store and what kind of cabinetry is going to store that well for you. Then go buy it. When you're laying out those cabinets, think about what should be near what. So when I'm standing at the sink, what do I need? What do I want in the drawers beside it? If the dishwasher is here, I probably want my silverware, my plates, my bowls right next door on the other side. Think about when I'm standing at the oven, I want spatulas, I want oven mitts, I want pots and pans. When I'm in a spot in my kitchen, what am I going to do there? And what are the utensils, the appliances that I need to get the job done? And that's how you lay it out. Easy as that, right? Well, maybe not so much. So here's what I like to have my clients run through. Make a list of your favorite recipes. Make a list of all the things you did in the kitchen this week, and then run through them with your new plans. How did you make those pancakes? Where did you go to get the pancake mix or the flour? Where were your spatulas? Where are your pots and pans? Where's the butter, the oil, whatever? Walk through the recipe. Find the things that you need and lay them out appropriately. And think about that recipe all the way through. So once those pancakes are made, how am I going to serve them? How am I going to clean up? How am I going to empty the dishwasher and put them away? Think about the flow, how you move through all the steps of cooking food, serving food, eating food, putting food away, entertaining, doing homework, whatever it is you're going to do in the kitchen. Walk through those routines in your mind and design for that. How and when do you cook? Who cooks? How many cooks in the kitchen? How often? Do you entertain? Do you throw parties? Do you have kids' night? How do you live in the kitchen? When you think about that and you think about how you move through it, are you in there by yourself? Are you in there cooking with other people? How do you move through this space? How do you work together? How do you make it easier to work together? How do you invite help so that you can cook while other people clean up? See if that happens. And the flow depends on you and how you live. I can't tell you what works for you. I can't tell you what your favorite recipes are to cook. The flow of your kitchen is going to depend on you and your family and how you use it, how you cook, what times of day, what things you cook, how many people are in the kitchen, how many people help cooking, cleaning, prepping, whatever. Your routine should dictate the kind of cabinets that you buy and where you put them. Think about making coffee, putting groceries away, making lunches for school tomorrow. Whatever it might be that you do on a daily basis, run through that in your plans and see if it works. When you design a kitchen, it is more important than anywhere else in your house that it works right first. A beautiful kitchen that doesn't function is a lifetime of misery. So form has to follow function in a kitchen. Now you know how to do it. Let's light it up right. Go watch some of my lighting videos. Thanks so much for watching.